Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm on trail, I want a compact fixed blade that's light, easy to carry, but still gives me a lot of reach so that when the situation arises, I know it's going to get a lot of work done. So you got to kind of twist and guide it. See, there you go. I mean, it bites in good, dude, for that Saber. Now, these have never been seen here on the channel before. This is a CPM 154 Saber ground G10 handled Bruin. And this is a Scandi ground CPM 3V with micarta handle scale Bruin. Both knives identical in their dimensions, just handle materials and grinds and steel, by Thomas Nuge. Knives by Nuge. If you are not familiar with him, I first discovered him about a year and a half ago, and he was doing some wild stuff. And I was like, okay, well, what's going on? I chatted with him for like 45 minutes at Blade Show. It was a great conversation. Small business based right here in America. He makes all the blades here in the USA. It's him and his wife, and it is impressive, dude. And I saw that these could have some serious potential. So we're going to be putting them head to head, which grind, steel choice might make more sense, and see how it maybe stacks up to some other similar sized blades to really help you determine the next time you go out on a hunt, camp out, or long distance trek, if the Bruins might make sense for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in, have some fun. Now, there are a few aspects that set the Bruin series apart right away. The first has to do with their thickness. They are less than 1/8 of an inch thick. At 3/32, that converts over to be about 0.1 inches on my caliper, or 2.7, 2.8 millimeters. So they are thin, meaning that they should be slicey and agile, but does that mean we're gonna sacrifice durability on harder tasks? That's what we're kind of here to find out. Now, Thomas states that he kind of designed each grind for different purposes, with the high Saber grind being more focused on hunting and cleaning of game and precision, and the Scandi being more of a dedicated woods field knife, a little bit heavier duty. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense, and we're going to find out. Especially the Scandi in 3V. I mean, it just feels like it belongs in like Last of the Mohicans or something, dude. Like, oh, let's go. And when it comes to the ergonomics, at 0.77 on the thickness, and the best part, the guard to bird beak, 4 inches. That's the part that matters, you know, that span right there. And my large size hands have a knuckle span of 3¼ inches across, meaning that I'm absolutely locked into place. Now, the other big aspect to me that kind of stood out is their HRC. They both are sporting 61 to 62 HRC, which is on the higher end of hardness for these steels. Oftentimes we see like 58 to 60, maybe 59 to 61. So that means that we should see excellent wear resistance, but are we gonna be sacrificing some edge durability on those harder tasks? Well, let's get to work and find out. Look at that, didn't even have to stroke back. Okay, here we go with our 3/8 Manila. Yep, push cutting. Look at that. 7,000 pound recovery strap. See how it just easily went right through that. And then here's the double weave. Look at that. Nice. Wow. When you're making a feather stick, you're looking for the transition or corners of the last flat piece. So I have a flat piece right here, so it created little tiny angles, and then you hit that for your next curl, and that's how you get it. And then you're like, oh, I just created. So you should almost always, with every other push, usually be rotating your stick just a little bit. At least that's how I do it. That's the method I use. Okay, so we got that uncoated back spine. That's always good for woods working. There it is. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. A whole heck of a lot. Ooh, yeah. Look at those chunks coming out, man. There it is. Now, I know I'm going to get the question. This does ship as a true Scandi. So there's no micro bevel or secondary edge on it, things like that. Now over time, you can Scandi vex it, you could put a micro bevel if you want, but it is stunning the amount of abuse I've put this through, and it's not chipping or showing any excess wear. So my 154 CM with the Saber has a rounded or crowned spine down to where the grind terminates. So it should be 90 in that last little tip. Yeah, there you go. So you can still do it, but you got to work with that last about inch down here. Oh, dude. Whatever he's doing with the height of the grind and the main edge, I mean, it bites in good, dude, for that Saber. Wow. Dude. Saber is bomb. There it is. Now the Scandi has a very broad angle, so now we're bringing it way thinner. We're going to be using the same piece of wood. So this is a little nerve-wracking. Let's see what this blade can do. Hopefully no waves or anything like that. I've always found CPM 154 and 154 CM to be pretty tough and durable. Okay. Yeah, the chunks are going to be more precise and deeper with this grind. There you go. No waves on this very thin ground Saber. The Saber grind is also a factory edge, as we can see there. Honestly, pretty surprised at how well the Saber grind was able to keep up with the Scandi, especially in some of those harder tasks with how high and thin the grind is. And honestly, I think if you're on the fence between the two, it really is going to come down to tip strength and geometry. Because on the Saber, we have about an inch from where the Saber grind terminates to the tip, meaning that it is very thin, precise, agile, and I'd argue even delicate. So you can definitely pierce with it, great for hunting tasks, precision cutting tasks, and I can, you know, stab it into a piece of wood, no problem, but I'm not gonna be doing any sort of lateral side to side. It's just pure geometry and physics. There's just not a lot behind that tip, and you crank it, you're gonna run into issues. If you want more tip strength and durability, that's where the Scandi comes into play, because the grind just terminates way closer to the tip, giving you much broader, more meat behind that tip and giving it more strength. So leave a comment. Now, having seen them both in action, which grind and tip geometry do you prefer and how you use your tools? Now, what's cool with the Bruins is that you're not trapped to just one steel with a certain handle material and a certain grind. Here's the dealio. From what I understand on the website, when you look around, there are several ways that you can go about it. Like, you can get Saber grind with, I believe, 3V, CPM 154, AEBL, and sometimes Nitro V. And then you can do the reverse. You can get all those steels with a Scandi grind. And you can get micarta on whatever version you want. So there's a lot of ability to change and flip and do different things with. Just allows you to really dial in the tool to how you want to use it and your environment. And that brings us right into pricing, and the second thing you're not going to hear anywhere else. Now, as you guys saw there, they go between $345 and $335, just depends on steel choice, build out, and availability. And I try to help you guys and give back any way I can. And so he was willing to offer a very exclusive 10% off promo code that you can actually apply not only on the Bruins, but site-wide to any of his other models and design. And he was really clear. He's like, dude, I don't have a promo code with anybody else. I'm not doing any Christmas sales or Black Friday or anything like that. You know, this is the only way that someone is going to get a discount on these blades. And I appreciate him being willing to do that because he works really hard on these models. The fit and finish is excellent, as we're seeing just even in, you know, HRC choices and, you know, the quality of the materials and just things like that really stand out. And I know he works hard on that. And so when you apply that, you're going to be looking at about $300 for these Bruins, which will come into play when we look at a competitive option in just a little bit. And to be clear, Nuge did not pay or sponsor for the content in this video whatsoever. They just sent me the 2 samples, and then I have that affiliate link popping up, and it's in the description box below along with that promo code, so that if these or some of his other models make sense for you, you can go check those out. Now, the sheath that the Bruin comes with is American-made leather, and it's built by Badger Claw Outfitters. They make epic sheaths. I've had them on a few different knives and they're excellent. And this design is no different. It's a friction held sheath that rides low on your belt, which is great. So it stays out of the way from, say, like hip belts on larger packs. Perfect for long treks on trail. It doesn't get in the way. It's silent if you're a hunter, so that's good. And it's still compact enough that you can throw it away in a pack and it's not going to take up a bunch of room. So excellent quality. Now, we always got to do competitive options, and that's where something like the REIFF F4 might come into play. I'm sure a lot of you guys are curious how the Bruin kind of stacks up and maybe differentiates itself. The cutting edges are almost identical. The Bruin coming in at 3.75 and the REIFF maybe 3.8, something like that. But you can see that the REIFF is obviously a much larger overall tool. And some aspects that you're going to notice right away is the overall thicker stock at about 530 seconds versus 330 seconds, and the weight at about 7.5 ounces. This thing comes in at about 5. So right away, you're going to notice that the REIFF is a much heavier, kind of bulkier, overbuilt tool, and the Bruin is a more light, quick, nimble, precise tool. And that's the same for the Saber grind versions as well. And last I checked, the REIFF is going to be right around that same cost, $335, $345, just kind of depends on who, what, when, where, why. The 3V is 58 to 60 on that HRC, whereas again, we got that 61, 62 on the Bruins. And then we have that promo code, you know, that will bring it down a little bit under the REIFF, but they're definitely in the same family of quality, fit and finish, you know, levels of precision. I'm seeing excellent, and it's really going to come down to, do you want something thicker, heavier, overbuilt, or do you want something that's lighter, quicker, and more nimble? So guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this journey as we've explored a brand new set of tools that we've never seen here on the channel before. Obviously, quality is absolutely there. And I hope it's also kind of challenged you guys a little bit on how you use your tools, what to look for in your tools. Do you have the skill set for precision? These tools bringing that with a good level of durability along with them, or is it better to stick with like overbuilt, extra thick tools because of the way you use them? That's what I hope to leave with you guys today. I invite you again, check them out and see all the other designs that Nuge is bringing to the table. Till next time, I invite you to check out the other videos, subscribe, and always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared. I'm gonna start moving on, and I'll see you out there.